Hello and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah. We have a fantastic show for you as always. We're going to check in with some local businesses in town, including one of our news partners. We're checking in with James Kateman, who you may recognize. And we've got Jody Fisher with us today, both from Calls on Call Receptionist Service. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
I'm excited to learn about this. So let's talk kind of the just big picture. What is Calls on Call?
We essentially answer phones for small businesses that are terrible at answering their phones, which it turns out is most of them.
Yeah, isn't that funny? It seems like a simple thing, but you get so busy, sometimes you just need someone to get the phone.
Yeah, right?
So let's talk about the benefits of using Calls on Call.
Sure.
Me? Well, I'd say one of the biggest benefits is a lot of our clients are in the services, so they may be driving their truck and answering the phone, and the caller clearly would rather talk to somebody more professional who can actually answer their questions, schedule their appointments. So it's an alternative to, hey, let me call you back, and then the caller's like, you know what, I think I'm going to call the next guy instead and get my appointment scheduled. So I would say that in itself is probably the biggest benefit. And is what grows their business the fastest, too, because you were making appointments right then and there instead of giving the ability for them to call somebody else.
That's such a good point. I know I've been guilty of that when you just need a service, and so you just kind of go down the line, and if they don't answer the phone, you move on to the next.
Exactly.
Right? We always tell people that no one's necessarily in love with your company. So if they can't get a hold of you, they're not going to cry about it. They're just going to call the next one down the list.
So true. Wow. I never thought about it having a service like this. So you said mostly service companies. What kinds of companies do you typically work with?
So a lot of construction companies are a big portion. And then we have professional services like accountants, lawyers, things like that. And then a little bit of healthcare. So a small healthcare like massage therapist or acupuncture, things like that.
Oh, wow. That's perfect for that kind of thing. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned scheduling and some answering questions. So you're not really just answering the phone.
Right. We say we're the alternative to a call center, the alternative to a cell phone. So you actually get a dedicated person who the majority of the time is answering the calls for you. So you can train them yourself. They have access to your calendar. They schedule the appointments. They can answer questions. They act as if they're in your office. So a lot of times the caller will say, I'm down the road at Shopko, and I can't find you, and they can give you directions on how to get there. So the callers have no idea that they're not sitting right there in the office. So they truly are an extension of their business.
That is great. Let's talk a little bit about sort of the difference between, let's just say a business owner decides to just hire their own person to answer the phone and you. Why would they do this instead of that?
Right.
There's a few different reasons. One is cost. The cost of a full-time person to answer the phone, regardless of the fact that a business owner may or may not have 40 hours worth of work for that person.
Yeah, good point.
They're also hiring a person that realistically they're not going to stick around that long. So they're going to train that person, they're going to get the equipment for that person, they're going to pay for that person, deal with the HR, and then that person leaves. So now we take on that headache.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's a really good point because you spend so much time and resources getting somebody onboarded, and sometimes a job like that is sort of, they want to move up or move on. So that's great to have a service that you just know is going to be there. Let's talk a bit about just from the technology standpoint. Phone. Is phone going to be around forever? Are people just Googling the business, or what do you think?
That's a great question. We have a lot of people that like to text, like especially younger generation likes to text or just not talk to humans in any way. But realistically, I like to say that we're a communication company. So regardless of how people get in touch with whatever company they want to talk to, they'll have to communicate some way. Whether it's a web chat or text or email, telephone, we can take care of it.
Well, that's wonderful. And I should have mentioned this in the beginning because it's my favorite part of my questionnaire here. King of the King, King of the Ring.
King of the Ring, yeah.
And Boss Lady. So you obviously make your own titles.
Well, James makes the titles.
Oh, I should have known that. So for businesses who are watching and thinking, this might be a good solution for us, what's the best way, next steps? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, they should call.
That was going to be the answer.
And somebody will answer the phone, and they can reach us at 608-210-3110.
Somebody will answer the phone.
Somebody will answer the phone, and they'll
Such
tell
a
you what
relief.
to do from there. It's perfect.
It really is nice. Okay, James Kateman and Jody Fisher with Calls on Calls. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for watching. We have more Talk of the Town after the break.